You're watching the Minute Mark, and today we're going to be reviewing the Tudor Black Bay Chrono in the Flamingo Blue colorway. Today we're at Olive Grove Cafe here in Irvine, one of my favorite all-time cafes, just because of the environment. The vibes here are immaculate. Everyone has a smile on their face, and as you could tell, it's a beautiful day here in Irvine. It's one of the sunniest days, and for March, that's a little uncommon, so we're going to take advantage of this beautiful weather with a beautiful colored dial. Let's get into it. Why is this watch so special and so sought after? The reason being, in my opinion, is when you think of Tudor, you think of vintage aesthetics, very subdued, very dull, and just not eye-catching. And that's done on purpose, and they do that very, very well. But when this came out, that is a totally opposite monster. I'm sure if you know about the turquoise, you maybe know about the pink. The pink took everyone by storm in 2024 with the Black Bay Chrono. And then a year later, this turquoise came out. A lot of you guys don't actually know why these two colors exist. They are two hot colors, yes, but they're done for a reason. As you may know, the ambassador for Tudor is David Beckham. He owns Inter Miami, which is a soccer club team located in, of course, Florida, Miami. Their jersey colors, they're pink when they play home and turquoise when they play away. That is why this collection is very, very popular and associated with Mr. Beckham. It's actually why I'm wearing this jersey as well. This is a really cool jersey that I picked up a few years back. It's a 1998 England jersey from when Beckham played against Colombia in the World Cup. 1998 is my birth year, so I had to pick this up, and it was perfect to represent a beautiful timepiece with his jersey as well. So let's backtrack to January 17th of 2025. Leaked photos of David Beckham or Jay Chou wearing this very watch. Now, at first it looked minty, it looked a little green, but then in the real flesh it looks turquoise. This might be Tudor's most controversial dial color, maybe besides the pink, but a lot of people don't know that maybe the turquoise is half the production of the pink. Both are unicorn watches, but this is the rarer watch at the moment. My honest reactions when this came out, I loved it. Ever since Tudor implemented the 5-link bracelet on the Chrono, it has elevated the watch from a tool watch to a fun watch, and that's what I love about this piece. Let's get into specs. This is going to be a 41mm Black Bay chronograph, of course. It only comes currently in 41, and I say that a month leading into Watches and Wonders toward 2026, so who knows what's going to come out next month. But at the moment, the chronographs are 41mm, and it's going to feature one of the best chronograph movements in the game, the B01 that is poached from Breitling. The B01 movement, if you're not familiar with it, it's a very, very rugged movement, and my favorite thing about the movement is there's no such thing as bad habits. You could change the time, you could change the date whenever you like, and it's not going to hurt the mechanism. It's been tried and true, but of course with Tudor's waterproofness and heritage, it makes this chronograph a really good wearer, and especially good for vacation purposes when you go to Miami and enjoy some water too. So like I mentioned, the chronograph, anything in the Daring collection, such as the pink, the turquoise, will come with this 5-link bracelet, and only this 5-link bracelet. That's how you separate it from maybe some of the other chronographs these days. Since then, they have implemented the Jubilee 5-link style bracelet on all the chronographs, and I think that was a really smart move. Let's talk about the two subdials and how this separates from maybe the Daytona. A lot of people love to compare the Black Bay Chrono to the Daytona. Difference between this and the Daytona is this is more utilitarian, and you could tell by the size of the watch and the watch head. Whereas this is a watch, the Daytona is more jewelry. It's a little bit smaller, more luxurious, has the white gold markers. This has two subdials with a 45-minute register on one side and the seconds register on the other side. And more importantly, if you prioritize a date window, the chronograph on Tudor's side is going to have a date window, unlike the Daytona. Price at the moment for these Black Bay Chronos on the 5-link bracelet as of March 2026, $6,775, and still to this day I can say that this is a lot more watch than what you're paying for. Maybe when it starts to get to the 8 to the 9 grand price point, that's where we could start talking where, hey, is it worth it or not? But at the moment, Tudor still provides a watch that punches above its weight in price point. Now, like I said, this is totally different from what Tudor has done in the past, especially with this Daring collection. Who is this watch really for? I picture maybe a bold, young enthusiast. More of the younger crowd is into something like this because it's a little on the louder side. I'll be honest, you could see this dial color from a mile away compared to the pink. The pink kind of blends in with flesh, especially lighter colored skin. But this turquoise, man, it pops from a mile away. It's a beautiful color. And also, I would say this is for someone that is a big time collector and is just maybe bored of their usual colors. Black, dark blue, white. Turquoise is automatically hot. Let's talk about resale value. For the first time, Tudor has some resale value. When the pink and the turquoise came out, sorry to keep repeating this over and over again, but when the pink and the turquoise came out, it was their introduction into what's known as an allocation piece. What I mean by that is you go into Tudor and everything that you see is ready to take home right there whenever you want it. And I mention that because it is totally different at older brother Rolex. But now these daring piece collections are allocation based, meaning you can't walk in and purchase this. So if you're lucky enough to purchase this, that means you have an extensive history with the boutique, you have a good relationship with the boutique. But if you're gonna have to go gray market privately, you're gonna have to pay a few extra $1,000. And that's just a little uncommon and not known for being Tudor. I think prices right now are hovering maybe 10.5 on a good day, 9 for maybe the pink, so a little bit lower. You know what strikes my interest? I'm very interested in seeing how these modern day Tudors, at least the collectible ones, are gonna hold up in the future. In 10, 15, 20 years from now, what will the turquoise and the pink be priced at? That's what makes me excited to get into Tudor so early on and see the vision far ahead. Time will only tell. Now, one thing I look for when, looking at a watch, wrist presence and wearability. How am I able to implement it with my outfits? Is it gonna be comfortable? I can tell you 100% that this watch does it all. It's comfortable because it has the T-Fit clasp that's found on most Tudors these days. If you're not familiar with T-Fit clasp, it's 8 millimeters of adjustability where you're able to loosen it, especially on a hot day like this, and especially if you go back to the motherland in Miami. Wrist presence, it's a chunky watch, I'll be honest. I believe it's in the 14s in terms of millimeters. It's a thicker watch, but adding the 5-link bracelet makes it wear a lot better, a lot smaller. And this bracelet is one of the most iconic bracelets of the Tudor Rolex family. It's breathable because there's individual gaps in between the links. It's pretty and it conforms to your wrist a lot better. It hugs your wrist. You should never have comfort issues with this bracelet. This watch is so in demand that it has actually caught the attention of celebrities. Maybe some celebrities you might even not know are into watches, such as of recently, if you're into watches, I'm sure you saw this, Russell Crowe shared his collection, and among his diverse collection was his Flamingo Blue. He said that he uses it as a daily wearer, and if you take a look at Russell Crowe's episode with Joe Rogan, you'll see that he's wearing this very watch. Another really cool celebrity, one of my favorites, Will Ferrell, was seen wearing the Flamingo Blue. It's really cool to see how people have their ears perked up these days to Tudor and not just Rolex. I think Tudor's on fire, and if they could keep coming up with really bold colors such as the turquoise pink, etc., they will continue to capture the imagination, the heart of the next enthusiast. Tudor is killing it right now, and I can't wait to see who else adopts these very timepieces. Here are some questions that I found online that I would love to personally answer for you guys. Is this the best modern Tudor? You know what? I'm gonna say it's definitely up there, top 5 for sure. But in my opinion, the best modern Tudor is something that you can actually go and walk in and purchase. It is the Black Bay 58 Burgundy on the Jubilee 5-link style bracelet. That is my pick for the best modern Tudor. This is still up there for sure. Is this a bold or a tacky configuration? At first, when you think of turquoise, you can automatically think it's just a tacky configuration. It's too bold or too bright. I can honestly say, seeing it in person, you'll see the way the 316L stainless steel is finished with the 5-link bracelet, how it's polished in the center and brushed on the outside, the high polished finish on the side. What I'm trying to say is, it is not tacky at all, especially in person. You look at it and you see that it is worth the price that you're paying for in terms of watch. The turquoise color is executed perfectly. A lot of people compare this color to maybe a Tiffany shade. Obviously, it's not a Tiffany shade, but it is a tad bit darker than a Tiffany shade, so it's very sophisticated in that aspect. Would I wear this as a daily or just flex it? Honestly, I don't think I could wear this as a daily. It's just too bright, it's too flashy, and it's definitely more on a special night out that I would wear something like this. What I would daily is maybe from Tudor's lineup is the Black Bay 54, which I do have in my lineup. It's very subdued. It has the 3-link bracelet. It's very minimalistic. That is more of a daily. This is something that I would take out on a special night. Did Tudor go too far with this one? You know what, if they did, there's no turning back now. They got to go all out and do some really cool colors. Maybe the pink was too far, but the success of that makes me realize that it was needed. It needed to be done. Tudor's heading in a golden direction, and their motto is Born to Dare. So no, they did not go too far on this one. Now, what do I rate this watch? This watch I can solidly give an honest opinion of an 8.5 rating. Reason being it's not a 10 is I think we're all in the same kind of room. The elephant in the room, I should say, is it's a little on the thicker side. Like, look at that. I have a 7.25 inch wrist, by the way. It looks fine on my wrist, but it is not wearable to the daily average watch enthusiast. So if we could make it a little bit thinner, I think we're getting closer to the 10 ranking. And that's something I know Tudor can do. And I think in a few years from now, we can look back at this video and say, hallelujah, Tudor thinned it out. It's getting there in terms of perfection. And that's what I rate this watch. By the way, if you're at this cafe, I kind of recommend the fizzy Americano. It tastes a little harsh, but it does the trick. If you haven't seen my last videos, I did a review on the Dune White Ranger and the Oyster Perpetual in Pistachio. This is gonna be my third review. If you love the quality, the content that I've been putting out, the color grading, the sound, the music, the editing, I'm not responsible for that. I could just talk to the camera all day. The wizard behind that is the guy behind the camera, David Esparza. If you want to hire him for any videos here locally in Orange County, I'll leave his information down below. You will not regret it. It's the best work you've seen. And if you want to get a chance to see what he's all about, check out my last 2 videos. In the meantime, that's going to be the review for the Black Bay Chrono in Flamingo Blue. If I'm being real with you, the Black Bay Chrono in Flamingo Blue is not for everyone. And that's exactly the point. Tudor took a risk on this piece, and it's not going to be your everyday boring piece. It's a statement piece, and it does that exceptionally well. Are you bold enough to wear it? And are you bold enough to pursue this watch? Is this a watch that's on your radar currently, maybe compared to the pink or the turquoise? Which one do you prefer? And what is your experience with owning a piece like this if you have it in your personal collection? I'll see you guys in the next video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much.